हेलो हेलो। हॅलो, कोण जॉईन झालाय? हॅलो येस, साधना झाडके जॉईन झाली आहे का? हॅलो 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 हॅलो, आवाज येतोय का? हॅलो हॅलो, आवाज येतोय?
येस मॅम.
आवाज येतोय ना?
हो मॅम.
ठीक आहे. दहा लोक झाले जॉईन. 11. Yes, let us start the lecture. Today we are going to learn the lecture from Lecture About Philosophy, the Principle and Art of Cure by Homeopathy. The second lecture is Introduction to the Study of Homeopathy. Yes, let us start. If a physician would successfully practice medicine, he must know first what is curable by medicine, and second, what is curative in drugs. Yes, try to understand the meaning of this. What is curable by medicine? What do you mean by what is curable by medicine? That is a pathogenetic power of medicine. And this pathogenetic power of medicine we know from the drug proving, isn't it? while the second factor is the what is curative in drug. Yes, what do you mean by the what is curative in drug? That is the what symptoms which we learn from the clinical proving, and sometime in particular constitution some symptoms are uh, the- we prescribe for the particular type of disease, while uh, some symptoms which are not included in drug proving also, these are also disappear, and this clinical proving is very much important. And therefore every physician successfully practice medicine whenever he know what is curable by medicine, that is a pathogenetic power of medicine, that is a materia medica, knowledge of materia medica, and what is the clinical application of the drug. Let us start the second paragraph. The physician must know something of the history of the development of drug action, of the gradual experiments with the remedial substance upon healthy human beings, and the data gathered therefrom over a long period of careful observations, which have been checked and verified again and again, both in experimental proving and in clinical use. Yes, here he explain what do you mean by that. The what is curable by medicine, that is a whatever is the knowledge we obtain from the drug proving, that is the drug action, drug power, the gradual experimentation. Yes, this drug proving is not so much easy, while it is a very long and tedious experimentation, and you have to collect the healthy human being, those who are willingly share this experiment, and those who are willing to experiment on himself, that these are the healthy proving the provers, and then the data gathered therefrom over a long period of careful observation. Then after administration of the homeopathic medicine with the purpose of drug proving, you have to collect the data, and the action of medicine is very uh, wide, and which is very gradually develop the symptom, because the prover is healthy human being, and then enough drug power required for the action of this medicine, and therefore you have to uh, carried out all this experimentation of the drug proving with a very carefully and careful observation. That means maintenance of the day book, you know what is the importance of the day book, then collect the symptom, and uh, then verify the symptom uh, every week, and you have to verify, or if the prover is literate, if, whenever the prover is illiterate, different instructions are given by Hahnemann for the conduction of drug proving, and it is a very painstaking experiment, and which have been checked and verified again and again. Yes, only one experiment on or only one experiment for a certain drug is not enough, while you have to prove and reprove the drug for many time on various age group, various constitution and both sexes, and this both in experimental proving and clinical use. Yes, what is a curative in drug? You observed in clinical use. Then whatever is the data we obtained from the drug proving, now you have to apply it in or you have to apply this knowledge in clinical clinical use, and verify which symptoms curative by the drug. The basis upon which this knowledge of drug action is built is a profound and basic element of homeopathic procedure. Yes, it is a basic element, because without the knowledge of materia medica, we can't select the most similar remedy, and therefore it is the basis upon which this knowledge, that is the knowledge of materia medica, built a profound and basic element of homeopathic procedure. If you want to select a most similar remedy, you must have a knowledge of materia medica. By the time the physician has become somewhat acquainted with these guides, he is in a position to go forward and erect the structure of his future medical career upon the basis that is immovable, that does not change with every new theory that arises upon the medical literature over a period of years. We find it one kaleidoscopic panorama of ever changing theory and practice. Yes, it is very important. By the time the physician has become somewhat acquainted with these guides, he is in a position to go forward and erect the structure of his future medical career. That is, with the enough knowledge of materia medica, he can select a proper homeopathic medicine for a given case, and whenever the best results are appeared, and then he can construct his bright medical future career, and this upon this basis that is immovable, that is the knowledge of the materia medica is immovable, because uh, the medicine which are proved by Hahnemann, these are again reproved by many other physicians, and in their medical practice they observe the effect of the medicine, and therefore this knowledge of materia medica is basic. It is it is very concrete one, isn't it? And therefore it is immovable, that does not change with the every new theory. Yes, as according to the, or as in a other medicinal practice or other faculty of medicine, that is, you can compare with allopathic point of view, and you see with the allopathic point of view, they ever changing the theory of application of medicine, isn't it? While in homeopathy it is immovable, the knowledge of materia medica and application of this materia medica is very basic, it is concrete one, it is not changing ever along with the time, isn't it? That does not change with every new theory that arise upon the medical literature over a period of year. That means according to the, or you can say in allopathic practices, uh, when they observe the side effect of certain medicine, then they change the application of the medicine, isn't it? And this ever changing theory, or their practice depending on the ever changing theory, it one kaleidoscopic phenomena. You know kaleidoscope, it is a टॉय, यू कॅन से टॉय, खेळणं आहे हे लहान मुलांसाठी तुम्ही बरेचदा बघितलं असेल की दिस कॅलेडोस्कोप हॅज वन एंड देर इज अ आय पीस, and at the one end there is a three these glass strips are used, isn't it? And the glass is there and some beads are adjust with these within this two glass, and here the end, isn't it? And whenever we observe image from this eyepiece, then whenever the angle of these beads get changed, the different type of symmetrical images are appear. तुम्ही बघितलं असेल ह्या कॅलेडोस्कोप की जेव्हा आपण त्याच्यातनं बघतो तेव्हा आपल्याला अशा सिमेट्रिकल इमेजेस तयार झालेल्या दिसतात. पण ह्या का बरं तयार होतात? कारण त्यांचा अँगल बदलत असतो. म्हणून एच रॉबर्टनी काय केलं, ही कम्पेअर दिस changing angle of each and every physician towards the medicine. It is a one kaleidoscopic पॅरामिना म्हणजे प्रत्येक फिजिशियन एखाद्या मेडिसिनकडे एखाद्या विशिष्ट अँगलने बघत असतो, त्याच्या ऍप्लिकेशनकडे बघत असतो, कारण त्यांची थिअरी किंवा त्यांची जी प्रॅक्टिस आहे इट इज नॉट बेस्ड ऑन फिक्स प्रिन्सिपल. It is totally differ from person to physician to physician. You can say there are you also observe that in spite of or you can say only homeopathy have this fixed principle or only homeopathic practice based on principle. And if you say, if you see the other practice of medicine and the current method of medicine is allopathy, you can say there are no such principles and theory required for the application of medicine. And this uh, theory is also ever changing. The cause of the disease is ever changing, the application of medicine also ever changing. It is differ from physician to physician, and therefore such type of kaleidoscopic panorama never appeared in or never observed in homeopathy, because we have a fixed principle and we see towards the case through a very specific angle, because our prescription based on the principle. You make a totality and select the highest and most similar medicine from the materia medica. It is only view. There is no any other angle for the application or for the selection of medicine. Let us see the next paragraph. Homeopathy, on the other hand, is ever capable of development while the principles remain the same. On the other hand, that means rather than the other practice of medicine, homeopathy is ever capable of development. Yes, although the principles are fixed, it based on fixed principle, it founded upon fixed principle and law, while there is wide scope for the development, while the principle remains same. Homeopathy is founded upon principles that are again founded upon natural law. Yes, why these principles are fixed and immovable, immutable? Because it based on the natural law. And you know, nature's law are never changeable. These are all fixed and immutable. These natural laws are basic. Yes, this natural law existed since the beginning of this, you can say, cosmos, or since the beginning of this solar system, since the beginning of our earth. And therefore, these natural law are basic. They are more eternal than the hills. Yes, as the hills are immutable and as the hills are fixed, similarly, our laws are also eternal than the hills. For these laws were formulated before the hills came into being. Yes, as these laws are existed since antiquity, as these laws are present since the beginning of this universe, isn't it? These laws are existed since the formation of these hills, and that's why these are eternal and basic. If a man follows where homeopathy he must be able to follow those laws and to hold close to them, regardless of pressure of influence. If yes, if a man follows where homeopathy leads, yes, whenever a man in previous lecture we also know that uh, the homeopath if you want to become a successful homeopath, then you must believe on the principle of homeopathy. And therefore, if a man follows where homeopathy leads, that means which principle homeopathy follows, he must be able to follow those laws. He must follows the laws and principle which followed by homeopathy, and to hold close to them. And you never skip off any law or principle. Every time you have to follow this cardinal principle, regardless the pressure of influence. Regardless the pressure of influence means the pressure by patient. खूप वेळा असं होतं की पेशंटला खूप इमर्जन्सी असते आणि तो म्हणतो की डॉक्टर साहेब मला काही करा आणि ताबडतोब बरं करा, की आणि मग अशा वेळी आपण त्याच्या इन्फ्लुअन्स खाली येतो आणि आपल्या पॉलिफार्मसी कधी कधी यूज करू शकतो. तर कधी कधी खूप आपणच पेशंटची कंडिशन पाहून जर आपण आपलाच कॉन्फिडन्स जर डगमगायला लागला तर पुष्कळदा आपण ॲलोपॅथिक प्रिस्क्रिप्शन त्याच्यासोबत करायची इच्छा ठेवतो किंवा करतो. अशा खूप काही अशा कंडिशन्स असतात की ज्याच्यामुळे आपल्याला प्रेशर येतो आणि आपण आपल्या प्रिन्सिपल आणि लॉ पासून, कार्डिनल प्रिन्सिपल आणि लॉ पासून आपण डेव्हिएट होण्याच्या कंडिशन येते. खूपदा पेशंटच्या रिलेटिव्हच्या प्रेशरमुळे किंवा कधी कधी स्वतःहूनच आपण डिसिजन घेतो की या कंडिशन मध्ये कदाचित दुसऱ्या पॅथीचा आपण उपयोग करू शकतो. तर whenever we are not confirm and you not confident with the principle of homeopathy, then it is very impossible to practice, isn't it? And therefore he he should confident regarding the principle and laws of homeopathy. And any pressure, regardless of any pressure or influence, he stood fast towards the laws and principle. Hold fast all these laws principle while strictly follow the law and principle. On the other hand, the very principles which he follows stabilize him. Yes. काय होतं, आपण जर आपल्या प्रिन्सिपल आणि फंडामेंटल लॉ आणि प्रिन्सिपल जो होमिओपॅथीच्या प्रिन्सिपलला जर आपण घट्ट पकडून बसलो, चिटकून बसलो, तर काय होईल आणि काय फायदा होईल? तर व्हेरी प्रिन्सिपल विच वी फॉलो स्टॅबिलाइज हिम. आपल्याला एक स्थिरता येईल, विचारांमध्ये एक स्थिरता येईल, म्हणजेच गोंधळ कमी होईल. अँड मेक हिम शुअर इन हिज वर्क. आणि आपण आपल्याला जे काम करायचं आहे म्हणजे सिलेक्शन ऑफ मेडिसिन आहे, क्युअर ऑफ पेशंटला क्युअर करायचं आहे, ह्याबद्दल आपल्यामध्ये कॉन्फिडन्स तयार होईल, आपल्यामध्ये स्थिरता येईल आणि आपण खात्रीने ते काम सक्सेसफुली करू शकतो. म्हणून काय म्हटलंय, ऑन द अदर हँड द व्हेरी प्रिन्सिपल्स विच ही फॉलोज स्टेबिलाइज हिम अँड मेक हिम शुअर इन हिज वर्क. This stability can be maintained equally well in chronic work. Yes, this stability can be maintained equally well in chronic work. Why? Because in a chronic case, you require a long period of time, and during this long period of time, there are so many conditions, so many influences can occur. Whenever you shake from your principle, or your stability may be lost, and therefore this stability can be maintained equally well in chronic work. In acute cases or amidst the panic of epidemics of unknown origin. Yes, such as influenza, poliomyelitis, outbreak of such conditions as encephalitis. For here, as in all other manifestations of illness, yes, the stability can be maintained. Yes, this stability, the fixity towards the principle of homeopathy, it should be maintained equally in chronic cases as well as in acute cases. In acute cases or amidst the panics of epidemics. Nowadays we observe What are the panics of epidemics of unknown origin? Yes, the best example which we are now facing, the coronavirus, it is totally of the unknown origin, and it is a type of viral viral infection, that is it's a influenza, you can say, or poliomyelitis and this encephalitis. These are all example of epidemics, isn't it? And when any type of epidemic may occur, but you have to select your medicine according to your principle, isn't it? That's why, and for the selection of medicine, you only follow the totality of symptom. म्हणजे कुठलाही एपिडेमिक असो, कुठलाही इथे पॅनिक्स ऑफ एपिडेमिक. आता कंडिशन कशी झालेली आहे की इतके सारे इन्फेक्शन होत आहे, इतका फास्ट स्प्रेड होतो आहे हा डिसीज, किंवा कुठलाही ऍक्यूट डिसीज एपिडेमिक मध्ये जेव्हा इतका फास्टली स्प्रेड होतो, तेव्हा नॅचरली सोसायटीमध्ये, समाजामध्ये खूप एक प्रकारचा पॅनिक आलेला असतो. आणि ह्याचा पण हा पण एक प्रकारचा इन्फ्लुएन्स आहे की होमिओपॅथिक फिजिशियनला टेन्शन मध्ये आणू शकतो, किंवा त्याचे प्रिन्सिपल सोडण्याला भाग पाडू शकतो. पण जर आताच्याच कंडिशन मध्ये बघितलं आहे तर रिसेंटली कुठलंही मेडिसिन अवेलेबल नाहीये. आणि जर सिम्पटम सिमिलॅरिटीने जर आपण एखाद्या पेशंटला ट्रीट करायचा जर विचार केला, तर डेफिनेटली आपण वी कॅन सिलेक्ट अ व्हेरी प्रॉपर मेडिसिन फॉर द गिव्हन केस. Then because our selection of medicine is depending on the totality of symptom, isn't it? म्हणजे कुठलाही एपिडेमिक जरी आला तरी आपल्या प्रिन्सिपल मध्ये बदल होत नाही. कुठलाही रोग असो, मग तो पोलिओमायलायटिस असो, की इन्फ्लुएन्झा असो, किंवा एन्सेफेलायटिस असो, किंवा कोरोना व्हायरस देखील असो, तर कुठल्याही कंडिशन मध्ये आपण आपले सिलेक्शन ऑफ मेडिसिन हे प्रिन्सिपलवर डिपेंडंट असल्यामुळे आपल्यामध्ये ती एक स्टॅबिलिटी आहे. आपल्याला तो कॉन्फिडन्स आहे की येस, दिस ड्रग डेफिनेटली ऍक्ट, इजंट इट? तर ही स्टॅबिलिटी आपल्याला केव्हा मिळते? जेव्हा आपण आपल्या प्रिन्सिपलला आणि लॉला चिटकून बसतो, ते आपण सोडत नाही. वी होल्ड फास्ट ऑल दिस लॉज अँड प्रिन्सिपल. ती स्टॅबिलिटी पुढे आपल्याला आपल्या वर्क बद्दल शुअरिटी देते आणि स्टॅबिलिटी पण देते. क्रॉनिक केस मध्ये देखील आपल्याला ह्या स्टॅबिलिटीची गरज असते. त्याचप्रमाणे ऍक्यूट कंडिशन मध्ये जेव्हा हे पॅनिक्स तयार होतात एपिडेमिक कंडिशनमुळे, तेव्हा देखील आपल्याला ही स्टॅबिलिटी गरज पडते. स्टॅबिलिटी आपल्याला फायदा पडतो. The fundamental laws remain firm and intact. Yes, why the homeopathy is applicable in chronic as well as in acute condition? The fundamental laws remain firm and intact. फंडामेंटल लॉज कसे आहेत? हे फर्म आणि इंटॅक्ट आहेत, कारण दीज आर बेस्ड ऑन नेचर्स लॉ. आणि हे नेचरच्या सुरुवातीपासून अस्तित्वात असलेले लॉज आहेत, आणि फर्म आणि इंटॅक्ट, and they are sufficiently basic to provide a sure guide to health. And yes, from several other examples and several other experience taken by various homeopaths, these homeopathic medicines are sufficiently, or it can sufficiently provide a sure guide to health. Yes, you can restore sick to health in any type of disease, because or when we select the medicine according to the homeopathic principle. A man who adopts the homeopathic methods must be free from prejudice. Yes, the first condition is that to attain the stability, the first condition, a man who adopts the homeopathic method must be free from prejudice. Yes, free from prejudice, that means it is any preconceived notion, any biasness, never, कुठलीही शंका मनामध्ये न ठेवता होमिओपॅथिक प्रिन्सिपलवर प्रिन्सिपलच फॉलो करणं आणि त्यांच्यावरच विश्वास ठेवणं, कुठलीही म्हणजे मनामध्ये कुठलाही गोंधळ नसणे, कुठल्याही विषयी शंका नसणे, बायस नसणे किंवा होमिओपॅथिक प्रिन्सिपल विषयी कुठलाही मनामध्ये अविश्वास नसणे, ज्याला आपण म्हणू की इट इज फ्री फ्रॉम प्रेजुडिस. कुठल्याही प्रकारचा प्रेजुडिसनेस आपल्या मनामध्ये नको. कशा रिगार्डिंग द होमिओपॅथिक प्रिन्सिपल, म्हणजे पूर्णतः विश्वास. आणि हा पूर्ण विश्वास केव्हा होईल की जेव्हा आपल्याला त्याचं नॉलेज असेल, जेव्हा आपण आपल्या सतत विवेक बुद्धीनी ते प्रिन्सिपल आणि लॉ जेव्हा व्हेरीफाय करू, तेव्हाच आपल्या मनातल्या जे शंका कुशंका आहेत, वी आर गेट फ्री फ्रॉम द प्रेजुडिस अँड एबल टू लुक फेअरली at disease conditions from a new angle, and without any prejudice we try to study any type of disease from a new angle, that is according to the principles. He must look at the patient as an individual, not as a disease, and he must treat the patient, not the disease. Yes, कुठला न्यू अँगल आहे आपल्याला? कुठल्या न्यू अँगलनी बघायचं आहे की प्रत्येक पेशंट हा एक स्वतंत्र इंडिव्हिज्युअल, त्याची एंटिटी आपल्याला इथे बघायची. आपल्याला वी आर नॉट बिलीव्ह ऑन द डिसीज, नेम ऑफ द डिसीज अँड ट्राय टू सिलेक्ट द मेडिसिन अकॉर्डिंग टू द नेम ऑफ डिसीज, इजंट इट? म्हणजे आपल्याला डिसीज ट्रीट नाही करायचं, तर आपल्याला काय करायचंय, तो इंडिव्हिज्युअल पर्सनला आपल्याला ट्रीटमेंट द्यायचे. त्याचं कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक काय आहे? इंडिव्हिज्युअल इन डिसीज कंडिशन, नॉट अ डिसीज इन इंडिव्हिज्युअल, इजंट इट? ही मस्ट लुक ॲट द पेशंट ॲज अन इंडिव्हिज्युअल. त्याचं एक स्वतंत्र व्यक्तिमत्व, त्याची पर्सनॅलिटी, आणि त्या पर्सनॅलिटी, त्याचा तो व्हायटल फोर्स कसा डिरेंज झालेला आहे, कुठले मेंटेनिंग कॉज, कुठले एक्साइटिंग कॉज रिस्पॉन्सिबल आहे, हे सर्व ॲज अ इंडिव्हिज्युअल म्हणून आपल्याला स्टडी करायचं आहे, not a disease, and he must treat the patient, not the disease. He must learn that the symptoms he must treat the patient. He must learn that the symptoms that under ordinary training would have been discarded as confusing the issue or as of no value are the very symptom which to the homeopathic physician simplify the case and providing strongest clue to the surest method of assistance. He must learn that the symptoms that under ordinary training would have been discarded as confusing the issue. That means whatever is a symptom, common symptom of the disease, on which we or at the first sight we try to select the medicine whatever is the symptom available, but H. Robert advise you the symptom which are common to the disease, these are which we try to diagnose the disease. This diagnosis of the disease, this has been discarded as the confusing issue. That means this common symptom of the disease, that is the diagnosis of the disease, it is totally confusing issue. If we try to select the medicine according to the diagnosis of the disease, then you try to treat the disease, not the individual. And for the selection of homeopathic remedy, you have to discard all the diagnostic symptom, all the common symptom of the disease, and try to concentrate on the individual symptom. And because or as of no value are the very symptoms, yes, these symptoms have no value at all for the selection of medicine, isn't it? Which to the homeopathic physician, that means the common symptom on which we try to diagnose the disease, these symptoms are of no value. You have to discard it, and because these are all confusing, while you have to concentrate on the characteristic symptom, simplifying the case and provide the strongest clues to the surest method of assistance. That means simplify the case. Simplify the case means try to look your patient as an individual one, isn't it? Try to look your patient and discard all the common symptoms, isn't it? And look toward the case as an individual, which provide the strongest clue, which give the or this characteristic symptom, this individualizing symptoms give the strongest clue to the surest method of assistance. But that means which is the helpful assistance means which is the helpful method for the restoration of the sick to health. These are only to know the characteristic symptom of that particular individual patient, which gives the strongest clue for the selection of remedy, isn't it? That means you never try to treat the disease, you never try to collect the common symptom of the disease and select medicine according to the common symptom. Yes, if you select the common medicine on the common symptom, yes, this common symptom, because of the symptom similarity, they may be disappear, but there is no there is only palliation. It is not a restoration of the sick to health. Health could not be obtained by this palliative method of treatment, although the medicines are homeopathic one. Because whatever is the drawback, because we select the medicine on the common symptom, therefore these are only able to remove the common symptom in that particular individual, while you have to treat the individual one. Don't forget, you have to treat the individual one, therefore assess the characteristic symptom of that particular individual in disease. Have you got this? Let us take the next para. He must possess a sense of values. He must possess a sense of value. He, that is a homeopathic physician, must possess a sense of values. He must know the, what do I value? These are moral values, and be able to train himself to observe and interpret those signs which manifest themselves through the habits and circumstances of the patient into indication for health restoring medication which he has at his command. Yes, he must possess a sense of values means here is a very big or very deep sense of meaning is there, because he must know what is his aim. His aim is not only to remove the symptom, his aim is not only to treat the disease, while his aim is to restore sick to health. Yes, which Hahnemann told you in first aphorism, very first aphorism, he know the mission of the physician. And therefore, if we have the sense of value, you never try to palliate the symptom. You never try to suppress the disease, while with efforts, we try to select only those medicines which restore sick to health. We try to select only those medicines which offer total health to the patient. Isn't it? That means हा मॉरल सेन्स त्याच्यामध्ये असला पाहिजे की आपल्याला ह्या पेशंट बद्दल नेमकं काय करायचं आहे, की त्याचा डिसीज पॅलिएट करायचा आहे, की त्याचा डिसीज सप्रेस करायचा आहे, की त्याच्याकडनं नुसतेच पैसे उकळवायचे आहे, की निव्वळ त्याला होमिओपॅथी ट्रीटमेंटच्या नावाखाली त्याला नुसतं सस्पेंड करायचं आहे. तर आपल्या मनात जर शुद्ध हेतू असेल की येस आपल्याला पेशंटला हेल्थ द्यायची आहे, हा टोटल हेल्थ द्यायची, हा जर सेन्स असेल, म्हणजे आपला मॉरल सेन्स जर आपला जागृत असेल तर रॅशनल माइंडने आपण पेशंटकडे बघू शकतो. ही मस्ट possess a sense of values and be able to train himself to observe. जर हा सेन्स त्याच्यामध्ये असेल तर तो काय करेल, तो स्वतःला ट्रेन बनवेल. त्याचे जे 5-6 त्याचे जे सेन्स ऑर्गन्स आहेत त्याला तो अशा प्रकारे ट्रेन करेल की तो ऑब्झर्व करू शकेल, तो इंटरप्रेट करू शकेल काय जे साईन आणि सिम्पटम त्याला पेशंट मध्ये दिसतात आहे. थ्रू द हॅबिट्स अँड सर्कमस्टन्सेस ऑफ द पेशंट त्याला तो व्यवस्थितपणे इंटरप्रेट करू शकेल. तो जगाच्या नियमांनी किंवा काय त्याच्यामध्ये जे जजमेंटल पॉवर असेल, काय चूक काय बरोबर आहे हा त्याचा सेन्स ऑफ व्हॅल्यू असेल तर तो पेशंटला बरोबर त्याचे जे हॅबिट्स आहेत, त्याचे जे सर्कमस्टन्सेस आहेत आणि त्याच्यामुळे जे सिम्पटम त्याच्यामध्ये आलेले आहेत त्याचं तो बरोबर इंटरप्रिटेशन करू शकतो. इंडिकेशन फॉर द हेल्थ रिस्टोरिंग मेडिकेशन. आणि हे सगळं इंटरप्रिटेशन त्याला कशासाठी करायचं आहे, त्याला त्या पेशंटचे कॅरेक्टरिस्टिक सिम्पटम शोधायचे आहे. त्याला तो पेशंट ऍज अ पर्सन म्हणून काय आहे, त्याची पर्सनॅलिटी काय आहे, वेगवेगळ्या सर्कमस्टन्सेस मध्ये त्याच्या वागणूक कशी होती, त्याच्या हॅबिट्स काय आहे, त्याचं मॉरल काय आहे, हे सर्व आपल्याला समजून घेण्यासाठी आणि इंटरप्रेट करण्यासाठी फिजिशियनला स्वतःचा सेन्स ऑफ व्हॅल्यू खूप हाय पाहिजे. बरोबर आहे ना. फॉर एक्झाम्पल जर एखाद्या पेशंटनी जर एखाद्या पेशंटला खोटं बोलायची सवय असेल किंवा एखाद्या पेशंटला क्लेप्टोमॅनिया असेल, जर फिजिशियनला जर खोटं बोलणं हे पाप वाटत नसेल किंवा चुकीचं आहे असं वाटत नसेल तर तो त्या पेशंटला जजमेंट करू शकणार नाही, तो त्याची पर्सनॅलिटी ओळखू शकणार नाही. म्हणून सायकोलॉजिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्ह्यूनी देखील तो पेशंट वेगवेगळ्या सर्कमस्टन्सेस मध्ये कुठले कुठले मेंटल सिम्पटम एक्झिबिट करत आहेत याचं इंटरप्रिटेशन सेन्स ऑफ व्हॅल्यूनी त्या फिजिशियनला, होमिओपॅथिक फिजिशियनला करता आलं पाहिजे. इन अदर वर्ड्स, ही मस्ट लर्न टू ऑब्झर्व अँड रेकॉर्ड केसेस फ्रॉम द होमिओपॅथिक अँगल. Yes, you know, the homeopathic case taking, Hahnemann gives very important indication, instruction